All right, guys, welcome back to Commission Reviews. You know what today is? Today is Ready to Love Saturday. We got the panel coming up, or it'll be coming on. This will be coming on after effect. I don't know. Y'all just bear with me. It's still the morning. This is my first thing I've done. I just got the makeup on. I just got started. All right, shout out to my auntie who made this earring from Louisiana. I will put the description of her link where you can get this and everything else. But this is a new special that I'm doing called Okay, Real Quick with Commission Reviews. But I'm doing Ready to Love Miami. I actually have somebody in the background, a surprise guest, because we're going to talk about one of the scenes and one of the things that stood out to me in the beginning of this episode. Without further ado, the queen that was in all white that had everybody talking last time. Yes, ma'am.
Hey. Gotta give you a nickname. Hey, Cammy. I gotta give everybody a nickname.
That is my nickname. I love it. That is my nickname. People do call me Cam. They call me Killer Cam. Okay.
Oh, I know that's right.
Ooh, Lord. First of all, let me find out. I thought this whole entire time this queen was from Louisiana and told me she did not from Louisiana, which we still claim her. And my mama told me I'm not from Louisiana because I'm a military brat. Look, my mama told me I ain't from there either. Because she say, you a military brat and you moved around. She say, you really ain't from there. She tells me that all the time. So I don't know.
We gonna claim it, baby. We gonna claim it. We gonna claim Louisiana.
Hey.
It was good, right? It's just a little fake accent I put on.
Look, it's better than what I do because I'm a military kid. I don't even have an accent. I live in Texas. I don't have that. So you sound better than me. And I'm supposed to be from my blood. Okay. All right, mama. We're going to get started. This is what I do where we do 15, 20 minutes talking about Ready to Love Miami. The episode that just premiered this past Friday. Now, the dates are getting juicy and I'm loving it. But I want to talk about your dates, particularly the surprise. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Only audio.
I asked her to make a label for us. I did. Olive juice. Wow. We have an insider about olive juice, which when you mouth that, it looks like I love you. And I was being intentional with that. But I think we was taken aback, like, wait a minute, look how cute. All because two people fell in love. No, I'm going to ask the question. Do you feel like you could fall in love or you are falling in love? I feel like...
Okay, mama. First of all, I'm going to do a commercial. I was like, no, they didn't. So,
right.
Olive juice.
Okay.
Come on with it. What's the origin? What's going on with this? Olive juice. What made you come up with that?
So we got to go back to the actual unseen date, Randall and I's unseen date, which you don't see. It's only on OWN TV as an exclusive clip on YouTube. So you can see our connection there. And Randall's very, in his green screen or interview, definitely says, like, we talk every day. We FaceTime talk. We are in that. And especially at that time, too, like, the conversations are really in depth. So it's hard having these in-depth conversations, like real world conversations, especially about intentionality and how we're going to align, because that's my word of the year is alignment. And then coming on screen and then trying to kind of keep the conversations going. It's like, we talk all the time. It's so hard. Right, so with the olive juice, that really came from like me mouthing it through a joke. So he's joking all the time. As he mentions, I'm joking all the time. But for some reason, the camera doesn't catch much of that personality. Mike mentions it too. So he'll make jokes, and I'll say things like, shut up, or whatever, I hate you, whatever. And he's kind of the person to be like, you love me, whatever. I'm like, yeah. So it's kind of like, that's where it came from. And we kind of just stuck with it. Like, and whenever obviously being on FaceTime, like it was just an ongoing joke that we had. So when I'm like, he's taken aback, it's also because when I'm on the phone, like I'm mean, like I'm not always nice. But what you see is me like, woo, because it was also a way to show him like when we get on camera, like I'm gonna make sure you know how I do feel about you, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna talk about those moments that not too intimate because I think we're both private people, but putting things out there that will help you recognize like I am listening to you when you're watching me on FaceTime and we're both at work. Like I am paying attention to you and I am thinking about things that we do discuss. And Olive Juice just being one of our ongoing insiders, is just something I was like, you know what? When I get here, I'm gonna have this lady put it on the label because we were looking at the labels to go on to the candle. And in
You're so silly.
Gotta troll the trolls.
I know, right? For real.
This is the candle, y'all. This is the candle.
That is so cute. Okay, like
look,
I was like a candle date. I've never,
he knows
thought about that. You say you love. Well, we do love candle. I'm saying as far as being a romantic date, but I guess it's a way for you guys to actually get to know each other, talk and have a conversation. Do you agree? Is that why that's kind of a?
Oh my gosh,
it's the second year they've done that.
Very personal because he knows like I'm a big candles fan. So when he came, I'm a gummy bears fan. Like gummy bears and coffee. So he actually came with flowers. They didn't show that part. Like I had flowers, gummy bears, an exclusive. Look at this card. Look at chicken scratch, y'all. Can you see the chicken scratch?
Oh, see, that's stuff they need to show. They need to show all the type of stuff because it's looking like I don't know, like well. Because you don't know who date is. I'm sorry, who the one because he's dating more than one of you guys, obviously. But like, who's the one that he's more into? That's kind of what people are tweeting about. Like, who is he more into? Who is he? I don't want to say playing, but because you're dating. So when you got to the part where Tommy was like, "Who wants to start?" and you was like, "I was like, she a G. She was the first one to speak up." Okay, rah rah. Da, 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 da.
Like, that's not even where I started. That's an edit. I started at Justice.
Really?
I started at Justice, and I'm glad they didn't show that one because I think that I think the group as a whole was so used to be seeing me so jokey. So for me to be like, Justice, let me tell you something. what? Listen.
Right? They wasn't ready. They wasn't ready. Oh wow.
And Tommy encouraged us to go around the table. So I was like, well, I hit actually every single person. And with Shakira, like, I'm like, girl, you was just helping me, before we got on camera, like you were giving me lotion. But I just wanted to let her know, like, recognize real, we don't have to do that. We don't have to like force any relationships. If you see me from the beginning, I'm actually never, ever bundled with a bunch of girls. It's either one other person or maybe two. We have to be actually in a group setting for me to be sitting with the ladies. I'm never there. We're not talking about.
Wow.
So it wasn't like, okay, I came on the show, I wasn't trying to have friendships. I just don't need to state that out loud. Like in my personality.
No, I love that. I love that. You're being genuine. Like I'm not gonna be in your face and sit with you when we don't really gel. For what?
Exactly.
Right.
There's no reason. If we don't gravitate towards each other and we don't have to force that. Specifically especially for women when that's not the dating show. So
no, I agree with that 100%. I love that you said that because
you have to pay attention. Like you gotta watch. You gotta watch.
Okay. But it didn't look like you were being like catty when you said it. It was like, girl, I know we don't. So just you understand what I'm saying? It didn't look like that. To me, it looked like you were just being a woman saying, look, we don't get along. Let's just or what's going on or whatever. But you could tell you was in the moment when you sat back there with Rara, I was like, okay, it's like more to that. So when you say edit, I was like, yeah, it looked like it. It did. Like you had more fire that you were saying. I hate when they get to see in that. I hate it.
And then also you have to think about the seating arrangements. Like he doesn't look happy where he's sitting, but he didn't sit himself there. So that's like behind the scenes stuff. Like we're kind of seated and placed where we are. I'm not sure if that's
Yes.
I don't know if that comes across on screen to everyone. Like everyone may not be paying attention. I think a lot of the times you have to what the narrative and what they're doing for the show is building narrative, building a storyline, but you also kind of have to kind of piece it together yourself because in the next clip, for instance, Randall's with the guy and he's like apples to oranges in comparison, like Jamala's my strongest connection. And that's where it is for that time. But you have to stay tuned because who knows, next week he might be like, hey, Kay, I'm feeling you. You know what I mean?
But
We're
y'all
dating.
connection is something else though, man. Y'all connection is it's evident on screen. People can see
Yeah.
y'all connection. I mean, I know it's still early, but it's just it's
Mhm.
very strong. And so people are rooting for you guys. I mean, I'm gonna probably put a poll but who everybody wants to choose. I want to see what they're gonna say because people I see talking about you on Twitter and other things, they're saying that you guys have it and they're wondering what's going on with the other connections. I mean, I don't know how to be in that position like that, but you guys are dating, and I say this all the
Mhm.
time: when you date somebody, you're gonna date more than one person. But I
Yeah.
love how you're being. You haven't said anything this whole time until that I know of course, just for what I've seen. Until Tommy said, "Let's get started." You haven't complained or said anything about it. So I was like, it's a legit question. I would ask it. Like, what are we doing? Who
At
you? I
some
mean, what's going
point,
on? Yeah.
I you have to kind of start, and then we have to think about it. So what episode is that? That was 6. There's gonna be
Yes.
what, 6 more and a reunion. So at some point, you start to kind of draw an in-depth line, like where are you going with that? And for me, it was just like you sometimes you just want to kind of nudge, like, hey, I'm paying attention, and from what we're doing, don't let me get too invested, and that's not where it is. So it was
Hmm.
kind of just like let's kind of lay the cards out, if you may. And
Oh
obviously,
my
it's a
God.
process.
Yes.
We all have to go through the process. We have to. But within that
Hmm.
process, we have to be very clear. Feel like boundaries and lines have to somewhere start to be drawn, and not saying like right there and then you got to choose me, like that wasn't it, because I was still learning him. At the end of the day,
Right.
I'm very clear, like, and they don't show it. It was actually at the bowling. I said I don't plan on leaving this process in a relationship. I actually want to leave this and see what my person, if I make it to the end, because we still don't know, right? If my
Right.
person is who they really are, is it gonna be? Are you gonna plan romance week? Right? Are you gonna have to be that
Mm.
romantic without cameras and without? Are
Right.
you still chivalrous? Like I want to see it without other distractions, so other connections, and I want to see it without cameras. So I know I state that, but they don't show that actually.
And that's something that they should show because I think a lot of people feel like they want to see the connection after the show is over. A lot of people they don't realize that fans love the show, but they love the interviews, the live stuff on Instagram, and the relationship status after the show. That's where the fans really are. They love that. And I don't think that we realizes that, especially when they do interviews with like the bloggers like myself. They
Mhm.
find out more information. Maybe they like that person more because of the interview. I've got many people who have watched interviews I've done with Ready to Love cast in the past that they
Mhm.
thought they was a villain or whatever. And then in the interview, they was like, oh my God, I love her. She's hilarious. Da, 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 da. I did that with Simone. When Simone was on my show, but they looked at her as a villain the entire season. I did one interview with her, and the comments were floored with her personality is awesome. She's beautiful. She's so funny, which she is funny. And I'm saying nobody knew it. So I think the intimate moments like this,
That's
intimate
raw.
moments you guys are on y'all channel is everything. I love y'all lives on Instagram because y'all are
Mhm.
clowning and being yourself, and you're just kind of, just telling your truth. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
I think you guys have the opportunity to do that and not be
Mhm.
judged just on just a couple of scenes you saw for a season. And I learned that from just doing it for such a long time. There's more to
Listen,
y'all than that.
those dates are like 2 hours, and y'all are catching 2.5 minutes of an hour and a half to a 2 hour date. And I'm just like, you can't draw these conclusions. And I think that's why when I see certain comments, like I always wondered how do people who are in reality TV like deal with this. I honestly am unbothered. Like it doesn't
Mm,
phase me. I thought it would have, kind of like ruffled me. And do I have an urge to respond? It's like I'm not even responding because I'm mad. I'm just responding because you're just so incorrect. You're just so
yes.
far from what it could be, and it's inconsequential to what's really happening. So, you know what I mean? That's just how I
Right.
feel. But I see some of the comments, like, and obviously I'm joking back, like Patty LaBelle, and like I know what I look like. You know what I mean?
Gorgeous queen. Who
Oh, thank
girl,
you.
these people
Yeah.
and the people that's talking behind
I'm
behind
humble.
the avatar ain't even girl. Let's not even do that. The
It was
trolls.
funny though. I thought it was funny because I think it's I like a good laugh. So even if it's about
Yes,
me,
but I'm just
I
saying that the ones coming for you don't look anything nowhere near. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that.
didn't say a word.
That is a queen.
You guys to know that.
Respect it. Oh my God. Look, I mean, it is what it is. I deal with it myself. You know, I'm a blogger. I still deal with it also, just on different scale. But I still get trolls. I still get whatever. Cats get mad at me, girl. I've been doing this for so long. I'm used to it. Be like, okay, you mad? You blocking me? You not talking to me? Okay, next.
Oh Lord. But I wanted to ask you, like, when you watched the date, though, what were your thoughts?
The day to me was, you guys were. It wasn't all about, oh, it was romantic, the roses or anything. It was more like genuine conversation, substance there. That's what I took from the date. You got what I'm saying. The candle day, you have a more intimate um conversation. And even the way you guys were looking at each other when you guys were, reading the olive juice, it was just the looks for me. I was just like,
Mhm,
it's like nobody else was in the room. That's the way I was looking at it. So
mhm,
I enjoyed the date. That's why I wanted to talk about it. It was one of my favorite dates. Something as small as a candle date. What I'm trying to say is, like, it don't have to be on a grand scale to hit different. You know what I'm saying when I say that? Like, if I want to go on a date, I don't have to always have like the red carpet pulled out, a
mhm.
limo. Da, da, da. We might be on the beach and then pay any money, got some out of the refrigerator, and just because we're sitting here together having a conversation and that
Yeah,
intimacy, that
intimate moments.
intimacy, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that. That's what I
That
love,
was a
stuff
good
like that.
date. Yeah, it was one of
It
my
was.
favorite connections at the time. Right, right, right.
Yes, ma'am. I said, look, I watched that. Actually, I rewound it and watched it twice because of the olive juice. For one, it was funny, and I watched it twice because I just like the way you guys are together. I'm trying to see him and the other ladies, and I want to get on the panel. I'll probably say more of it, but I wanted to say what I felt like about y'all being in this just triangle or whatever, and who I think
It's
he
a
leaned
square.
towards.
It is a square,
Oh,
Candy.
Jesus Christ, who he leaned towards to me the most, and so that's why I watched it twice. So I wanted to see the connection, the
Mhm.
vibage, and
Harbor's
it
back.
was there. Okay. All right, mama. This was done in 16 minutes and 57 seconds. This is like my third episode of Okay, Real Quick with Community Reviews. And this is a special episode, Ready to Love this season. My first time doing it. We'll do it on other shows, but my special guest today was Jamala. I appreciate little mama coming on here, and she is so cute. I saw her pictures. I was like, okay, body, hips,
Thank
Betty
you.
Boop. She's very pretty. Okay.
Thank
I will
you.
have for information in description when the video premieres right after the panel. Again, Mama, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe if you are new to the channel.